Champions of the Realm, welcome back. My name is Vox, joined of course once again by my co-caster here, Tattle, and this is the semi-finals. We are witnessing here Fate Esports up against TeamTeamTeam, and we've got some interesting picks coming through. On the left-hand side of your scoreboard, it is Fate Esports, Arcos on that Rucker, Smutny on Barrack, skillganon on Drogos, Menschmeyer on Eevee, and Unbelivable on Pip. Tattle, take it away.
And of course, against them we have TeamTeamTeam. We have Marre on Buck, Kamyker on Pip, MULKMULKMULK on Fernando, STURE on Barrack, SYER on Ruckus. And I know I was going to bounce onto you on that, onto that Drogos, but I just want to point out, look at all these burn cards coming through from the side of TeamTeamTeam.
Yep, we've got a lot of them coming through. Now, there's a couple of resiliences, which I really like. That counteracts the freeze coming out of Menschmeyer's Frigid Field. And now that burn cards aren't lost on death, that's an incredibly valuable card. And indeed, Menschmeyer actually going to be picked up there. Marre getting a double kill in that very early engagement. And now it's Pip on the side of TeamTeamTeam that's getting turned on, and Fate coming out dominant so far, taking point control. But no, point control is going actually back in favor of TeamTeamTeam.
TeamTeamTeam pushed through that tunnel. They group up Marre and SYER doing work. Marre picks up another kill onto Arcos there at the end, and he's going forward onto Smutny already. The rest of the team, skillganon trying to get there to help him, but it looks like it's actually MULKMULKMULK chases down Smutny. Marre does get taken down, now chasing him down, and the trade's just going back and forth, but point, that is going in the favor of TeamTeamTeam.
So what I think we saw initially is that Menschmeyer went in, got picked up because of the resilience burn cards, which meant that their freeze was ineffective. They blink in, they get blown up as soon as they come out of ice block. And that's fine. Then a couple of return kills were answered back by Fate. But then TeamTeamTeam, they just come in. Then the frontline team kind of joins them all. They have this Buck, they have this Fernando that just punches through. And it's so difficult to deal with in these tight little environments, like up in this, up on the ledges by where the payload is now in that little hut. And as soon as you're in an area where you can't make space away from Buck and Fernando, you're in trouble. You should never be in that situation in the first place. And look, the payload is being disregarded now just to further push up, just to make space for TeamTeamTeam as they want to barrel through unheeded. And that's just what they're going to do. High ground control getting poked out off Fate, and high ground control is going to start going in favor of TeamTeamTeam very shortly.
Yeah, as they pick up Smutny on the high ground as well, that's going to give them so much more control with those turrets taken out. There's the Expectorate going to knock people away from the payload for a bit, but MULKMULKMULK up in the high ground, he's going aggressive. Arcos pops that Hexafire and picks up SYER, trying to hit the high ground now, but can't manage to pick up anything more, and he goes 1-for-1 with that ultimate trade. But high ground, look at this, all going in the favor of Team Cubed. That is a Dragon Punch not connecting by skillganon up on the high ground. He gets dropped as well. And Team Cubed doing a great job of pushing forwards with this one.
Well, the defense kept there for just a moment, but as the backline push and that high ground push came through from Team Cube, they just took out the backline members of Fate one by one, opening up this payload for them. And eventually, I mean, we just had Smutny stuck on this barrack, stalling out the payload, and he goes, "Team, guys, is anybody there?" Nope, all of his team are dead. Now the payload reaching this gate choke point. This is Fate's next and really last opportunity to defend, because as soon as the payload pushes through any closer than this to the conversion point, then I'd actually give the advantage to TeamTeamTeam with their heavy front line build, and Mulk there going up deep as this Fernando picks up another kill. 1 versus 3, pops a shield to stay alive. The payload has been stalled out for a second, but it's going to get pushed further forwards now as Immortal comes out as well, and TeamTeamTeam are just staying so dominant.
That's going to be a great Immortal to keep Marre alive as he finds Arcos in this one and grabs that kill. The rest of the team trying to do what they can. Fate looks like they're going to push them back despite all of that high ground control they had. I thought that was really going to pay out for them, but in the end, high ground just doesn't work out for them as they get taken down.
It will go into overtime though, as time remaining 0 seconds. Do see that there's a Fernando there just in time. Ultimates come out, Megatar and Hexafire. SYER wiping out a couple of members of Fate there. And once again, TeamTeamTeam, they're all alive. They've dropped 1 member so far, and Fate are just being pushed back and pushed back. Now skillganon running this Decimate build is able to get some decent knockups around the payload, but it doesn't matter. The payload has reached the conversion point. 1 second off the payload by any member of Fate will mean that the payload will get pushed through and converted. It's so close, but only 6 seconds left to tick down that overtime before Fate can potentially get a successful defense. It comes down to the last remaining ult combinations, but the damage from Fate is dropping. Members of TeamTeamTeam are just wiping them out, but the respawn proximity is so close, it doesn't matter. They're back in time to save it, and it's neck and neck either way.
Right now, going in the favor of TeamTeamTeam, however, SYER goes and takes skillganon down. Unbelivable picks up one of his own. He's still on the payload with the great chicken, but there's a chicken in return from the side of Team Cubed. 3 members
Marre
on the side of the payload. Marre trying to do what he can, but don't think it's going to be enough. This is just fight after endless fight.
He came out of nowhere then. Marre came out of this.
Down though.
Marre came right out of the sky there, and that was pretty phenomenal to see. I'm watching from a free cam perspective, as we do generally as casters, just to catch all of the action possible. And I just see Buck rain from the sky, dealing that concussion damage, and that's pretty horrifying to see, but takes a full salvo to the face, does get wiped out. Fate do manage to hold the defense 1 point to 2 versus TeamTeamTeam, and let's take a look at the burn cards coming out here. Fate picking up a lot of what looks like Gather on their side, or is that Cauterize? We have had... That is Cauterize. It is. So they're looking to stop the healing coming out from Marre, and they're looking to stop the healing coming out from Kamyker as well, if Kamyker drops that healing post on the team.
I really like is we're seeing resilience on both Mulk and Marre, who are the frontline tanks, because the freeze coming out is the only way to shut them down. Without that, it's really hard to focus these members down. So we see fight coming out. Arcos pops that Hexafire, gets down MULKMULKMULK, picks up 1 kill so far. Slight advantage in this team fight. Kamyker as well gets taken down by Menschmeyer as they're looking to try and find Marre in the back. That's a double kill for Menschmeyer. He's trying to find the triple. Gets the freeze off. Ice Storm comes down, blinks away. Hexafire gets popped, but Arcos picks that up. Steals the triple away, but Menschmeyer is still alive. And the fight going in favor of Fate.
And now Fate setting up to defend, setting up to zone and keep all of TeamTeamTeam away. And they can do this a lot easier with skillganon's Drogas on their side, because he has these AoE shots like Pip does, but he also has Expectorate on his side. And running that Decimate card, it increases the size of Expectorate's explosion. So he fires that Loogie around a corner, hits it with a rocket, and it'll blow up everybody around the side. But hold that thought is back on point. There's a huge fight coming out. Arcos does pick up Marre there. The backline dive is coming through. There's 2 members of Fate Chicken. Fernando's looking to run them down. Mulk picks up 1 kill. SYER picks up another one, and at 88 points, 90 points, this is going back in TeamTeam's favor. Is the answer back from Fate enough? skillganon picks up a kill. STURE in response again, and STURE retains control of the capture point just for a moment. Fate do have the respawn opportunity though, so it depends if they can respawn, group up, and punch back onto that point for those last few points on the capture, but it's gonna be close.
Menschmeyer gets picked up, however, in the back. That's going to cost him the team a lot, but the fight's coming through. Smutny and Arcos pushing forward slowly. 65 points in the favor of TeamTeamTeam. This is going to be close. Arcos and I think that's... Oh my god, that's SYER. SYER picks that one up. Mega turret, though, from STURE. That finds Unbelivable. Smutny trying to push forward as much as he can.
There's nobody on the capture point. There's nobody on the capture point. There's an opportunity for them to get back on, but it's not enough, is it? No. Menschmeyer actually on the capture point still, but he's 1 versus 4, including a turret. skillganon on the capture point very briefly, but has to take to the skies to avoid being killed. We'll contest it for just a second, but on that kill, it's not enough. TeamTeamTeam taking the second objective.
Dragon Punch just inches away from connecting. That has got to feel painful for skillganon there. And fight goes over to the side of TeamTeamTeam, and this is I think unfortunate as well, as we're seeing actually a huge Hexafire inside the dome popped by Arcos. He picks up Marre. He's trying to find Mulk right now, trying to stay alive as well as the rest of the team. They find STURE in the back. Smutny grabs that one. The shots coming through from the Pip on the side of Team Cubes. Can't find any other connections or damage, and that's some great work there by the side of Fate to regain control. But I want to break down this momentum we saw from the side of Team Fate on that possible capture of the next payload there. What changes did we see? I know we saw some changes to the way credits work on the defense.
Okay, so when you get a successful defense, you now only get 200 credits as opposed to the 100 credits, or 400 rather, that you previously got. You do get 100 still for capturing, and 100 for capturing a point, 100 for converting a payload. So if you manage to push it all the way through, it does equal what you're able to get on defense. So it's balanced either way in that regard. Except if you do capture the point and don't manage to convert the payload, you will be at a 100 credit deficit. But with the credits spooling coming through and the lack of necessity to rebuy burn cards, we're seeing most players end up credit positive by the end of rounds. They're not forced to kind of give up on a certain burn cards. And by the end of the match, we expect to see 3 on everybody. Marre, though, gets a huge concussion off, dives in deep, goes onto the top side, looking to box that Unbelievable, but is poked out pretty heavily. Gonna retreat here, get out of danger. But the MULKMULKMULK has actually pushed the payload significantly further forwards. It's almost through this clifftop choke point. Is that Dragon Punch I can hear? No, that's Hexafire winding up.
Through as well, but that's returned by another Hexafire from Arcos behind the barricade. He's looking for the second kill onto Marre. Can't manage to find it. But Fernando, MULKMULKMULK is right on top of him. He's got to be careful. Smartly trying to survive whilst he can. skillganon did pick up that kill in the back. As the Mega Turret comes down onto Smartly from STURE, that will force him away as he picks up that kill. The payload still pushing forwards. It's got 10 seconds left, however. They're looking to try and cap it or push into overtime. Arcos finds 1 kill onto Kamyker. He's trying to push further forwards. Unbelievable picks up that one on the defense as well. But SYER gonna clean that up. Double chicken comes out from Unbelievable. SYER goes down. Marre, the only one left standing on this payload, he drops as well. Mulk, I don't think he can make it in time. He jumps on the overtime.
Oh, the charge!
Over.
He gets in with the charge. He gets the distance off just in time. Mulk is able to take this one to overtime, but is quickly wiped out again. And this time, with no members of TeamTeamTeam left over, this payload will successfully be defended. Fate Esports will pick up another point in their favor. Now TeamTeamTeam are leading 4 points to 2. The burn card advantage, it's going to go either way at this point, actually. But I expect to see lots of cauterizers come back out. And let's just talk about when Marre dived in right at the end of that payload attack then. So we saw Marre dive in. He pops the recovery, looking to heal through everything, but due to all of the cauterized cards, which reduce healing by 100% to all people hit by those weapon attacks on the side of Fate, I mean, Marre just can't heal through the damage. There's too much coming out from Fate. And now if Fate can actually get control of the capture point here, I expect to see Fate, you know, push a payload to completion. They can definitely do it. It just depends on their point
They're all
fight.
going up again in this maze that we see the fight happen on almost every time. Fighting for this high ground is just so important. It looks like Team, they just given it up. Stomp comes in, does some damage from Unbelievable, but he backs right out. Team Cube, they don't even seem to care about the high ground for once. This is actually pretty strange to see with how things have been recently. Immortal does get popped as that Mega Turret comes down from Smutney, as the rest of Fate are starting to pour into the point. They're trying to pick up the kills on the backside. Arcos going aggressive against Mulk and SYER. He gets picking up, but Unbelievable with the double kill. Gets chickened himself and cleaned up. It's a 2 for 2 in the fight so far. skillganon going up in the air, trying to find another. Marre picks up Unbelievable in the back. They're trying to do what they can. It's 3 versus 3 right now on the point. Can't find any kills. Marre goes in and gets the stomp, but he has to get out straight away. Doesn't manage to find the jump. skillganon going in. He picks up Marre in the back, looking for some more. STURE goes down as well. Doesn't manage to stay up. But
SYER, that's a Hexafire coming through.
The Hexafire.
SYER pops the Hexafire, does manage to clean up the capture point. A chicken comes through once again on the side of Fate, actually chickening out Mulk there, but nobody's on the capture point. They're all fighting around the capture point as they have to clear the area first, because going on that with no protection or enemies pouring in is suicide. Fate Esports so close to capturing this one. Oh my gosh, Marre dives in, dives straight back out again. That makes enough time for MULK to get on the capture point, and now all the ultimates are likely going to be ready and waiting. Yeah, there we go. STURE pops the Mega Turret. That's so much damage, but Fate get the capture point. Fate take it back. Now it's 4 points to 4, and the payload advantage is in favor of Fate Esports. They just have to deal with Marre on the back here, and they will. Smutney getting credit for that kill, and it's a free push halfway through to the choke point now, as they did end up wiping most members of TeamTeamTeam in that very last fight.
Team get wiped out. Menschmeyer holds them back despite the small stall that Mulk and Marre managed to pull off. And this looks like it might be a swing back in the favor of Fate. They're looking to make a return on things. Menschmeyer and skillganon in the back right now, dealing with SYER and Marre, trying to do what they can. Menschmeyer gets taken out, however. skillganon, he's going to have to fall back as well, but I don't think they'll let him. Marre goes in. SYER picks that one up. The payload's still pushing, but it's nowhere near far enough for the distraction they tried to pull. Smutney gets forced away, and again, this fight on the left side goes out. This time, though, Fate pulling ahead. Arcos picks up a double kill. He gets taken down by Marre, and Unbelievable on his own. Menschmeyer, this fight is still going on. Freeze comes through. That's going to be kill onto STURE. Chicken was popped as well. And Smutney, he's been doing a great job alone on the payload. There's the wall coming out from Buck, but he doesn't manage to catch him, and he might go down too. Kamyker goes down to Mensch, and Fate, they're doing a great job with
Hold up, thought of skillganon around the backside of the Dragon Punch does connect onto MULKMULKMULK, gets the kill. That opens up a free path for this payload to push right through, and fantastic work. skillganon going around the backside completely undetected, wipes out the primary stopping power, really, for this payload on the side of TeamTeamTeam. And now, whilst there is a turret up and available, and whilst the high ground advantage goes to the side of TeamTeamTeam, Fate are just pushing and pushing through. The respawn has come through, though. MULKMULKMULK once again back on this payload, but skillganon up in the air, dropping his salvo, dropping the damage from above. Marre comes in on the backside, looks to take out skillganon for his transgressions, but does actually miss. Concussion damage onto Unbelivable is good, but look at Mulk. Mulk is going to get very low. The payload's going to start pushing through again as Smutny is still there. And it's going to be a last-ditch effort to stop it. The chicken comes through into Smutny. It's a double Hexafire fight. SYER coming out on top of that, and TeamTeamTeam looking like they're going to hold for this, but there's 19 seconds left on it. There is chance for Fate to get back here if they all push, but it's going to be very, very close. They have to take it into overtime. The zone from TeamTeamTeam might just be too good.
Looks like they're going to hold them out far enough. Marre does a great job on Unbelivable. He's trying to go in for it, however, though. Gets the saw off, going for the blink. 1 second left. skillganon gets in just in time to overtime, but they're just going to wipe, I think, as STURE picks up a double kill for himself. Smutny and Arcos, the last ones left. Smutny forces out. Arcos goes down as well. And despite how well they looked on that fight, on that push, Fate Esports, they weren't able to keep Team Cubed juggled fast enough. I know, like,
no.
Team Cubed, honestly.
They have so much tanky front line that they took out the high value Fernando target, which is great with a Dragon Punch. That's fantastic. Then all that happens is Buck steps in, and by the time that Buck dies, oh look, Fernando's back. And the time that you wipe down even Fernando's shield, oh look, Buck's back. And all of a sudden, due to the close proximity of the spawn room for TeamTeamTeam to this conversion point, it's impossible to push through. Once again, burn cards full on either side, 3 apiece. A lot of Havens coming out on the side of Team Fate, or Fate Esports rather, as they look to immune the damage coming out from Fernando, Buck, this Ruckus pick as well. And it's been working so far on the last capture point. Can they do it again? But Marre dives in deep, gets a 3-man Cataclysm off. That was a 4. No, that's a full team Cataclysm. They're all trapped inside, but Marre has to blink away, or rather leap away to safety. Nobody on the capture point left. It's all about this spatial control and zone pressure for both teams.
It's all about trying to find that first frag, as Arcos does manage to find it onto SYER. Marre does manage to switch back onto Smutny and even things out. The control of the point is in favor of Team Cubed, but kills still staying even either way. Fate can make it back into this one with the coordination. Here comes the Dragon Punch. He goes out, trying to find onto, I think that's... He
tries to find Kamyker there. Doesn't actually get it, but that's a Hexafire. No, that's a Mega Turret being popped in response to the Hexafire from Arcos by STURE. And STURE likely to pick up Arcos on the backside, as Arcos in a lot of trouble due to all that damage coming out from Mega Turret now. Fate Esports do take control of the capture point briefly, but TeamTeamTeam, they're all back in force. The Mega Turret's holding them at bay for a second, but they're too tanky. The amount of frontline on the side of TeamTeamTeam is just too much for Fate to deal with in a direct confrontation. They have to pick them off one by one from range. They have to make better use of positioning, but TeamTeam step off the capture point for a second. It gives Fate the chance to get back on, but the turret is too much for skillganon to deal with. It's too much for Unbelivable to deal with. This one I can't see going back in favor of Fate unless Smutny gets here and pulls something incredible out right now, as they're directly contesting a Fernando on the point. That's not a situation you want to be in, but Unbelivable might be enough. No, look at this. The Ruckus battle comes back through, but the freeze is good. Hexafire.
The freeze is great. Hexafire comes out. That might be able to do it. It picks up 1, picks up 2. They're trying to find it. 97 on the point right now. Smutny picks up 1. There's 2 left. Mensch, the last man standing. He needs to get a freeze off, but it's not possible. Kamyker picks up a double there and finds the kills he needs to. And it's just chaos on this map right now. Tooth and nail fights as they are going down man to man. It's one-on-one fights at the end here.
Well, that was definitely a 2-on-1 right at the end there, and there's no chance that Anivi is going to box out both a Buck and also a Pip without at least the use of their ultimate. Awesome backup from the teammates, but alas, back at base despite a valiant fight. The respawns are too long. Capture point will go in favor of TeamTeamTeam, now leading 7 points to 4. This conversion is match point for the first game in this best of 3 set now, so TeamTeamTeam will be looking to push through, but they do have the chance to win it off the next capture point as well, so not as much pressure as it is on Fate, who are forced to secure this defense, and it's working out well so far. Unbelivable with a double kill there. skillganon raining down Hellfire as this Drogos from the top side, able to keep TeamTeamTeam at bay, but how long is it going to last, Tattle?
What a bait by Smutney. I mean, if he can pull baits like that, then this defense will last all the time. Baits Mulk into the corridor where his team are waiting. Exafire comes down meanwhile. skillganon picks up Kamyker. Arcos trying to find Mulk. The Ice Storm comes down onto SYER in the back. skillganon picks up Mulk. Menschmeyer picks up SYER. Marre does manage to find a return kill in the back, but now he's got to go in on 4 members of the team and try and do something here. Trying to find Smutney, has to jump back out in the end. And Kamyker, however, he picks up Mensch in the back.
So in order for TeamTeamTeam to really push through and close this out, how are they best doing it? We've seen them be dominant on these pushes before, at times, despite Fate being very good at the final area of defense. And to me, that's partially due to the double shield composition which they're running. So you push forward with Fernando, then when Fernando's shield goes down, you drop a barricade, keeping you safe for a little while. But is there anything else, Tattle, that we can potentially look out for TeamTeamTeam to do?
I mean, they just need to get the high ground control and rain down from above on this. They're getting control right now, actually, it looks like, as Mulk goes up on the high ground, picks up Unbelivable. SYER pops that. Hexify picks up Smutney. He's looking for another one. Immortal comes down to keep the team alive as well, and they find Arcos. And it looks like the defense finally broken in his high ground control to allow Kamyker just to sit up there on that pip and just rain down from above and get the damage off that he needs to. And as well as that, he's forcing someone like skillganon off of that high ground.
Hold that thought, is actually, that's a mega turret there, popped by Smutney. That'll dish out a lot of damage, actually going to make the defense successful. That looks things as Chicken goes down onto MULKMULKMULK as well. But due to that mount speed, he's able to get away with a shield. He's staying alive for just a moment, but overtime is ticking down. Mulk needed to get back to the payload, but he's not there in time. The defense is successful, and Fate Esports take another point from the defense off of TeamTeamTeam. But once again, this is match point. This one is for all the marbles. This game, 5 points to 7 are Fate Esports versus TeamTeamTeam. Fate Esports need to win this next capture point. They need to have the next conversion, and if they do so, they can win flat out off of one single capture point. But comparatively to the effort which TeamTeamTeam needs to put in, they have 2 opportunities here just to win a single capture point, or even 2 defenses in a row. So it could go either way.
I think this is the closest game we've seen in the past few weeks. In fact,
definitely today.
Almost the closest game, I'd say, in the qualifiers, arguably, if this one goes to the full 9-9. This is the last point.
skillganon! skillganon drives in with the Dragon Punch, manages to take out SYER. That's no ruckus on the side of TeamTeamTeam. And as the Hexafire comes out from Arcos as well, Arcos is going to pick up MULKMULKMULK. That's no Fernando. All they need is point control now, and Fate have the early advantage. But STURE answers back with the kill into skillganon. Where's the next kill going to come from? All of Fate Esports are grouped up. Menschmeyer picking up another kill. And now TeamTeamTeam are on the retreat as they're isolated and alone. This Barrack is going to get pinched in between a Pip and an Eevee, and that's not a comfortable position to be in. Unbelievable getting a credit for a kill there. Marre going to distract for a second, but Fate going to get an early point lead, and this could mean the difference.
Yeah, they're going to get point control. I think we've gone through for a crash, so we'll be trying to get back into this one in a few seconds. We'll go to a break for a short time. Stay around. We'll be getting into this game very shortly.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back indeed. So, unfortunately, we were unable to retrieve the last part of that match. I did manage to make it through stasis mode, but my colleagues were unable to. So we're just going to do a quick recap and breakdown of exactly what happened after that point. So we saw Fate taking initial control over the capture point, did manage to take that capture point indeed, but pushed the payload almost to completion, not getting a conversion. 8 points to 7, if I'm not mistaken, led TeamTeamTeam over Fate, and then TeamTeamTeam have a very dominant display over the next capture point. Take that. We'll take game 1 of this best of 3 series, and let's take a look at the scoreboard, as we do have that up on the screen, thankfully. So initially what I'm seeing, and I'm sure Tattle can look at this as well, so much shielding on either team. I'm so glad we have this stat available now, because whilst we did used to just see damage, I mean, we're going to talk about damage in just a second, because good grief, that is off the charts for a competitive game. But the shielding is unbelievable. I mean, you've got Smutney on Barrack doing shielding 173,000 damage worth of damage. And that is,
I tell you what, because
phenomenal.
He's the only shield as well.
Yeah.
We're seeing less on STURE and Mulk as a total shielding amount done.
Right.
It wasn't because there was less damage to shield. It's because they split that shielding damage. So in reality, Team Cubes, they're looking at what, 260k?
Oh god, no, they're looking
at
over 300,000 right there.
Yeah,
which is
so
absolutely phenomenal.
The damage coming out from Fate so much higher because of their composition. And that's why we're seeing actually Smutny have so much more shielding, because it's on his back, right? He's the only one to carry the shielding through this game. And tell you what, he did some work trying to carry that.
I definitely agree with you there, but if we look at the picks, I want to point out one particular pick on the side of Fate, and that is Menschmeyer. So Menschmeyer was sitting on the scoreboard, was one of the players on Fate that went negative in their KD, 17 kills, 23 deaths, 30 assists, but more importantly, they only dealt 89,000 damage, and I can't believe I'm saying only in reference to that. But for an Eevee, you expect it to be so much more, and what I really felt happened that game is that Eevee was just flat out countered by all of the resilience burn card pickups. I mean, resilience, when you grab it, it reduces the duration of all crowd control by 100%, except Pip's Chicken, which will last the minimum amount of 1 second duration. So when Eevee blinks in or looks to use the freeze, I mean, there's nobody that they can hit. They look to save their teammate from the backline divers of Fernando and Buck, and there's no freeze that can come through there. So in all honesty, I feel that the Drogo's pick worked out really well. Like the Barrack, Arcos.
If you've got someone like the team that Team Cubed are running, they don't have any backline squishies apart from that Pip on Kamyker. And you're not going to, honestly, if he's got resilience as well, you're not going to be able to 1v1 him. Ever. So
what do you think, what do you think is really like the pick to go for perhaps instead of Eevee?
I mean, the thing is that the Eevee pick sure might work. It's never going to work if you've got resilience being picked up level 1. So I'm 100% thinking that should be changed. Maybe a Fernando.
Okay, so you're going for more frontline.
Because, well, Fernando, especially if we were on that Glacier Keep, next map, of course, will be Temple Ruins.
Indeed,
Cassiel, Kinessa.
Now, I think with a Buck on the side of you got Marre on this Buck. I think the Kinessa is suicide into TeamTeamTeam's preferred team comp, which is exactly what we're seeing on the screen right here. Because all that's going to happen is Buck's going to jump in, Buck's going to lock Kinessa down, and Kinessa's going to go, well, I'm dead, and does just that. And whilst the damage is there, they've only got one squishy that Kinessa can really focus. They're going to have to focus. They're going to have to break down all of these shields first. I'm thinking Cassie. I'm thinking that the disengage is going to be way more useful than Eevee. But you got to remember that Eevee does have that versatility to be able to get up and down some ledges. We've talked about before how Temple Ruins is a map with a bit less verticality in, but there are areas, there's one point in Temple Ruins where Eevee can be particularly useful to blink up and ambush any backline. So potentially we'll see that coming through. Either way, a change would be perhaps expected after an initial loss rather than going for the salty run back. And we'll find out just what's going ahead. Go on.
I tell you what, though, I do think a Cassie would counter Marre's Buck. I mean, we spoke about that disengage as well in the previous series.
But it's not just the disengage. You notice that Marre is running concussion, so they have a heroic leap. They can heroic leap again after leaping for 3 seconds after landing. So if you're running Cassie, you can actually pick up a card for Cassie, and I do apologize, I've forgotten the name for it. But if you equip this card, it allows you to cripple enemies hit by your disengage shot. And against a double jumping Buck, or indeed a Ruckus, and this is especially useful against Ruckus when Ruckus had Gunship, is very, very powerful. So I almost expect that to be the preferred build, focusing more on disengage, maybe making use of Big Game Hunter in there as well due to the high health pool of both Fernando and Buck. But Tattle, before we go into this next game, any closing thoughts?
I mean, honestly, we've been speaking about what to change up with the compositions. With the previous series we've been seeing, it looks like the compositions are going to change rapidly anyway.
Right.
Even if they were looking at a salty run back, believing that they just didn't play their compositions correctly, I still think that things are going to change. We've been seeing with this new way of having multiple maps that the compositions change from Glacier Keep to Temple Ruins anyway, because there's just a different meta evolving there, which I love to see. The meta evolving on Temple Ruins so rapidly, we saw
both Sky and Kinessa, though. We did see both Sky and Kinessa coming out early in this tournament. Potentially not at high-level play, but we'll have to find out, and we'll do just that. So whilst we're preparing for Game 2 of this best-of-3 semi-final set, Fate Esports versus TeamTeamTeam, let us know in the chat in Twitch what your predictions are for how this game is going to go, and maybe what team comp we're expecting to see. We'll be back in just a minute. Champions of the Realm, welcome back. Today, Vox once again, joined by my co-caster and co-host Tattletale. And Tattle, you know how I'm never right and I'm always wrong? We got a salty run back.
This eye, I'm still dying over that. I'm sorry. I can't let
This
that
eye.
I can't let that drop so easily there, Vox. But yeah, Caster's
year is it?
Curse. Salty run back. I cannot believe it after saying how we should see changes with the compositions, how we'll probably see them because of the map. Salty run back, but here we go. Sanctuary coming up.
You know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it certainly worked for TeamTeamTeam last game. And you know, I'd say it worked out pretty well for Fate as well. They almost won the game off a payload conversion, and unfortunately weren't able to. But Marre taking an early lead here as the flank on the side of Fate Esports goes down south very fast. You can't dive backline that's already diving your backline. You can't dive backline when the backliner tanks. That doesn't go your way. But Fate starting to pull it back through. Arcos picking up MULKMULKMULK, and the kills lead slightly in Fate's favor. STURE answering back though. And look at this, SYER just going and ninjaing onto the capture point, starting to pick up some score on it already, whilst the rest of Fate are distracted. Now, Force Off is going to run straight into skillganon and go on. What are you going to tell me?
They've worked out their teams, though. They're coordinating so well. SYER gets picked up by skillganon by the Expectorate. They have point control now that they have the numbers advantage. Mulk is going to go straight onto Smutny, try and do some damage onto him, but he's going to get forced out eventually.
Smutny's evaporated.
Menschmeyer was up onto the top the whole time. He goes for the Ice Storm, gets down Kamyker as well. STURE gets taken down by Unbelivable as well. And whilst Marre is doing some work in the back onto skillganon, it doesn't matter. The rest of his team are already dead. Point capture is still going in the favor of Fate.
And I don't think this has anything to do with burn cards, although there are only 2 resiliences being picked up on the side of TeamTeamTeam. This is just Fate coming out in stride. They've completely figured out TeamTeamTeam. And the points now lead 91 in favor of Fate. It has been stalled out for just a second, but chickens have come through on the side of TeamTeamTeam. This could be the turning point as Fate Esports are in a lot of trouble here. Hexafire coming out though on the side of Fate Esports. Arcos dropping down damage. Doesn't manage to pick up a kill. That is Immortal pop by MULKMULKMULK, keeping people alive for just a moment. But the dual fire comes through. Arcos picks up Mulk. Kamyker answered back though, however, beforehand, keep picking up Smutny, and it could go either way. But Fate, are they going to be able to hold? Are they going to be able to retake from Kamyker here? The freeze is good, but it's not going to connect.
Doesn't manage to connect you to that barricade. Great work there. And the Immortal coming through last second onto that Hexafire kept him alive.
Oh, there's the mega turret. There's the damage coming through. Smutny with a kill. skillganon and Menschmeyer all picking up kills of their own. There's only MULKMULKMULK left on the point on the side of TeamTeamTeam, contesting for just a second. But it's not enough. They pick up 1 kill onto their team, but the payload has been converted. Or the payload has been picked up, rather. The capture point has been successfully captured by Fate Esports, and they take an early lead of 2 points versus TeamTeamTeam, completely opposite to the game we saw previously.
Skillganon, mate, where are you going? That's not the right base. He pops the Dragon Punch there, trying to take out Mulk. Realizes he's already dead. He flew right into the base of TeamTeamTeam and then realized he was 1 versus 4. Chicken coming out on the point, however, doesn't manage to find any kills. STURE picks up a double. Arcos did manage to return 1 kill, but it's not going in their favor. 4 versus 5, they get wiped out, and skillganon, you okay there?
Not for long. Not for long, as he is getting run down by MULKMULKMULK, able to mount up and shield. Whilst that shield is active, Mulk cannot be dismounted. skillganon, though, jumping around these pillars, still able to survive. Marre not able to hit him at range, and Mulk actually gets taken out. What a play by skillganon, able to stay alive through all of that. And all the while, the payload, having been stored out, is relatively close to the gate choke point at their base. The Dragon Punch comes through. Is it going to connect?
Does go for it. SYER gets taken out. Taken out on the point. They're managing to push through. Now it's Mulk on his own trying to defend. Marre does come in to join him. skillganon up on the top. Drops the salvo, but barricaded out perfectly. Great play there by STURE to keep himself alive. Mulk just ringing around the payload, running the rest of the team in circles. SYER picks up skillganon. Kamyker with 1. SYER with a double. Unbelievable. There's the triple kill for SYER as they manage to make a great defense.
Look at this. We've got actually sitting right up in the base. Unbelivable, still alive, and they're going to try and wait us out to safety. Going to be caught out by MULKMULKMULK by the looks of things here. A lot of trouble. There we go. Unbelivable finally falls, and skillganon's going to turn their attention to MULKMULKMULK. All go around the backside, looking to drop damage in behind all those barricades as the trench warfare starts to come out again. There's a Hexafire being popped by somebody. SYER picks up another kill. Is he going to get a double out of it? Doesn't look like it, but Barrack is Smutny. A lot of trouble here. Will get wiped out by Marre.
Marre picks up that as well as Menschmeyer going down. Unbelivable again. does manage to make that return kill, as he does so often against SYER, but at what cost? The rest of his team goes down. Looks like Menchma has caught out on this one. Actually, no, Unbelivable. He gets taken down. Yeah, the rest of the team.
That defense is just far too good. It does look like we've actually just encountered another issue of status mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to issue a pause here. We'll wait it out for a few minutes and just see if it'll go through. If it doesn't, we'll be restarting the game once the game has finished from the replay files. But thank you for your patience and staying tuned with us. With every patch comes a few bugs, and we'll be back as soon as we have some news for you.
Come back, everyone, we're back already into the fight on the overtime after those issues. As SYER and STURE, they pick up kills. Looks like the defense will be going in their favor. skillganon trying to turn it around. He picks up STURE, trying to do what he can as well. MULK, SYER, and the rest of the team. There's actually, I think that is Kamyker as well, trying to do what he can, but can't manage to find the kills. MULK picks up a double kill. Good work done by him. He gets taken down, however, and they're just cycling back and forth right now. 1-for-1 as Kamyker takes down Mensch, with Arcos finding the kill onto STURE. Marre, last one left on the payload. That will start moving forwards eventually, but we're still in overtime on this one.
And the respawns are so close with this midpoint on the now shrunken Temple Ruins map that the respawns for the attacking team are close enough that they can get over and keep on taking this one into overtime, and it's still going again and again.
Double
the payload
chicken
is being
on
blocked
the
out
high
by
ground.
Milk.
They managed
Nothing
to
comes
find
out of it.
STURE.
STURE does get taken out. Marius is back with a kill onto Unbelivable, but nothing really gained there. The payload's still stuck there. The high ground advantage going slightly in favor right now of
Hexafire coming
Fate.
out from SYER, and that manages to actually doesn't find anyone. skillganon taken down in the back by Kamyker. The rest of the team, Arcos trying to do what he can and get in there just in time to reset the timer. Freeze onto STURE. That might be enough to take him down, as Smutny actually gets taken down in return. Too aggressive from him. Now it's Menchmeyer, last man left standing. MULK picks up a double kill on that.
Is he going to get the MULK?
Going forward, can't manage to find it. He gets taken down too. It's still on 6 as Arcos is keeping this one in. skillganon finds 1. He's still managing to find the kills, but he's finally taken down. And it looks like Smutny, last man left standing. MULK with enough work in the back, keeping them busy. Finally gets overtime done and dusted.
That was a very, very extended overtime, and it almost could have continued there. Menchmeyer blinking in at the last second, doesn't manage to tick it there. Points lead at 2-1 in favor of Fate versus TeamTeamTeam. Next capture point going to spawn in about 10 seconds. Let's take a look at the burn cards coming through. So once again, seeing Kronos pickup start to come out. Now this is interesting. We've got a Kronos coming out onto Kamyker's Pip. Now Tattle, why would you pick up Kronos on Pip?
I mean, that Pip just allows you to have so much more healing, especially with Grok now out of the meta as well, and him not having the heal anymore unless you take Healing Rain, which just isn't as good as some of the other pickups. Having that healing flask so much more often is really important. So we see MULK does drop that Immortal on the point. STURE picks up Menchmeyer. The first kill goes in their favor. skillganon does return onto SYER in time. Hexafire does a lot of damage onto Marre, and that will find the kill and net that as they're trying to find STURE. He managed to get skillganon taken down. Arcos trying to do what he can to survive and will get out of this one. And meanwhile, Smutny and Unbelivable on the point. They clean things up and they take point control.
And Fate being very dominant on these capture points. I feel like this is definitely more Fate's map than Glacier Keep was. It seems to be working out for them. The zone control is quite good, but you got to remember that there's a lot of mobility coming through on the side of TeamTeamTeam. They could easily make it back in with this Buck, rather, or with the hold that thought. Dragon Punch comes through, misses everybody. skillganon not going to pick up a kill there. There's a Mega Turret pops on the side of Smutny. Menchmeyer picking up 1 kill there. In comes Arcos as well. Hexafire might be at the ready, but MULK is on the capture point. They're going to take control of it. TeamTeamTeam are going to take control of the capture point very briefly, but STURE likely going to get wiped out here as well. Arcos and skillganon picking up kills on there, and the payload once again going to Fate Esports, leading now 4 points to 1.
That's a great salvo there to pick that up as well. The Hexafire came through from the side of TeamTeamTeam, but it was used solely on picking up the Mega Turret from Smutny, but doesn't pick up any kills in return for it either. And right now, the side of Fate going really aggressive here. There's the Snowstorm. Menchmeyer does drop just as he drops it down, gets blown away by that one, forces the rest of TeamTeamTeam out of the choke point, but it doesn't really matter. They've already lost the members. SYER picks up skillganon as well. Arcos does manage to find the return kill, but Kamyker, he takes down Smutny in the back, and they're not even fighting over the payload anymore. They're just fighting for the kills. Menschmeyer picks up one. He gets taken down over an Unbelivable as well, drops with him. They're just going to be losing the fight, but the respawns come through. Doesn't look like it matters. Marre with the double kill.
And this is kind of what we expect on this map. It's a close proximity spawn point slugfest. It's if you're familiar with MOBAs and the slap fight nature that happens in that solo lane, it's kind of like that right now. Because you have respawns coming through so quickly that players are just feeding one after the other into each other. And why we're seeing these fights based around kills rather than the payload push is because there are so many people in close proximity to the payload that it's not going to move unless you do get the numbers advantage heavily on your favor. And hold that thought, as Hexafire was popped by Arcos there, I think, in just a second. Taking out Marre. And TeamTeamTeam, they're holding really well here.
He was popped instantly as Kamyker finds another kill onto Menschmeyer. Huge work by him. Hexafire was almost completely wasted there by Arcos as he hexfired into the face of 4 people and wasn't able to stay alive with it. Great defense here by TeamTeamTeam as they pick up another kill and another wipe to hold this payload in this great choke point. I'd like to see a flank coming through here, but it looks like Fate, they're still trying to push through this choke point. As Marre, he's actually the one who's going to look for a flank because the rest of the team, they push onto the payload. Marre comes behind, he takes down Smutny. Arcos pushes forwards, Hexfire from SYER. He picks up a double kill, taken down by skillganon, but STURE, he finds the rest. Skill, the last one left, and he's going to go down very shortly. 10 seconds left on this, and the Marre flank working out so well for them.
We've talked about the phrase EU Conga before, haven't we? I've definitely mentioned that on cast with you, where
it's
members of
NA Clown Fiesta EU Conga, like...
And this is exactly what we're seeing on this map, though. We're seeing players kind of go in one by one by one, but this isn't intentional to my mind. No, it's players like Marre coming around the backside, looking to flank, and you cannot ignore a buck coming up behind you, because if you do, you are a very, very dead player. So the players get split. They have to get to the payload because, of course, it's now in overtime, but they have to deal with the buck that's coming up behind them. And all of a sudden, with the split players on the side of Fate, the defense comes through quite easily, and they're just picked off left and right, but it's a different conversation entirely on the capture point fight. Now let's take a look once again at these burn cards coming through as we head into capture point 3 of this game on Temple Ruins.
Yeah, and that flank just worked out so well for them. I was hoping Fate would go for a flank right now as well, but they just don't go for it. They try and force their way through that choke point again and again, and it doesn't work out.
You can see why. You can see why, because if Fate back off the pressure down that main choke point, all that happens is MULKMULKMULK on Fernando just walks his way down to the backline and starts killing people. So there's that horrible balance of, well, we have to keep pressure up in here, which means that we can't go for the flank, which means that we're just permanently stalled. The capture point has spawned on Sanctuary, which is the midpoint of this Temple Ruins map. And there's a huge fight breaking out in the middle. Mega Turret goes down the side of Smutny. He picks up 1 kill. Looking for a second, there's a Dragon Punch coming through somewhere. It's going to connect. No, it misses, and STURE answers back. The kills are going either way. Tattle, take it away.
Still manages to find that one, but he's going to get picked up himself as the fight going on in this room is chaotic. Mulk does finally get picked up, and Smutny finds 1 kill onto Marre. Despite the Dragon Punch missing, it caused enough chaos and confusion to pick up the kills they needed. Salvo onto Kamyker, that managed to find that one. Arcos picks up SYER, and another point fight looks like it's going in the favor of Fate.
And I want to talk a little bit about whilst we see that, yes, there's no real way. We've got Mulk coming in, trying to make their way back onto the point. They will do so at the last moment, despite the cripple, able to get the charge off. Going to get onto the point for just a second, but Mulk now in a lot of trouble, forced to pop Immortal. Going to keep him alive for just a moment, but the damage is raining down. Marre's here as well. If they have this, if they have that Cataclysm available, keep them safe for a second, it's not enough. I mean, SYER's got the Hexafire
comes down. That's going to find 1 kill. Kamyker jumps on point just in time. Smutny picks up the kill, but they step off despite the chicken, and the point goes over to Fate.
So Fate very, very dominant this game, which is incredible considering what we saw last game, struggling to get a single capture point. And I want to talk about Smutny right here, because Smutny, he popped 2 mega turrets that fight, and that's pretty incredible. Taking a look at Smutny's build, I mean, they're not running morale boost, so that's just flat weapon damage boosting up that ultimate charge, which is actually quite incredible. And that mega turret, if placed correctly, can just decimate a team. It is so, so powerful. We're seeing it pay off, but once again, stuck in this choke point are Fate Esports. Esports fighting in this trench warfare between barrack shields, and will they be able to break the base this time, or is it going to be another successful defense for the side of TeamTeamTeam?
You say stuck, but they're already juggling the rest of TeamTeamTeam. STURE gets taken out by a salvo in the back. That's a kill already for them. Marre jumps in, but he doesn't have the team to reply. With Arcos' Hexafire raining down, he picks up Marre. Mulk trying to get in, but they're trying to find the kill onto SYER. They roam into the base. They find it. Mulk, one of the only ones left standing, being chased down. He gets that kill. The Dragon Punch just flying through, taking a tour of the base, gets behind. Mega Turret is dropped, but that's all getting blocked by the barricade. And it looks like for once, Fate might have found a way to break this defense.
Menchmeyer picks up a double kill there. MULKMULKMULK has respawned again, but 1 versus 3 here. With Marre being a bit of a distraction, they're going to go down pretty quickly. But will TeamTeamTeam be able to turn it around? It depends on the reinforcements coming through. We've got Kamyker on this pit back again, dropping that AoE damage, but Menchmeyer picks up another kill. There's skillganon up in the sky, raining down damage from above. The high ground advantage is in favor of Fate right now. If skillganon stays up there, they need to get him away. But once again, the respawns from TeamTeamTeam look like they're good enough to stall the payload. But let's check out where the payload is on this map right now. It's in such close proximity.
They stole the payload, but skillganon, he's still inside the base. I don't know if the rest of the team have noticed. SYER's going to try and answer to him on his own and go after him, trying to gun him out of the air. The anti-air turret coming through. I think skillganon will get dropped here. He's running around the base, but the teleporters are going to be in the favor. He's actually in behind, just trying to ignore SYER and pick up the kills. Hexafire comes through onto the payload, not able to find any kills. It's 4v5. Chicken comes out. Smutny gets taken down. They try and find another. Unbelievable as well. It's just Arcos and Menchmeyer left, but Mench goes down. There goes Arcos, and once more a defense comes through from Team Cubed. But the question is, how are they going to win this game? You don't get enough points.
Exactly. I mean, Team Cubed are now in that tipping point. If they start winning point fights here, even if the defenses come through from Fate, they've got the chance to take this game back. If they lose another point fight, they can't win off defenses. Or rather, if Fate just goes for defenses, they could defend 2 times in a row, and they could win the game off just that. They need to start winning these capture point fights, and it's just not been working out for them so far, despite all of the burn card advantages. But check out the burn cards on the side of Fate Esports. That's 4 Nimbles being picked up. That is a speedy team. I mean, you got to go fast, and they are certainly doing that.
Speedy team as well as that. They've got the Wrecker on the side. As I say, that actually Dragon Punch coming through. It finds Mulk of all people. Great pick up there for skillganon. Chicken came through onto Kamyker. They're trying to pick up the kill whilst they can. They find STURE, however. Meantime, as SYER goes down as well, the rest of the team, they are scattered. Team Cubed split up completely without their Fernando, and that Dragon Punch was huge.
It all comes off that one pickup. This Drogo's pick is working out fantastically. The Dragon Punch doesn't always connect, but when it does, it completely swings these capture point fights in favor of Fate Esports, because with that Fernando out of the way, there's no more backline disruption. They've got cauterizers on their side, so if Buck comes in, Buck dies. That's what happens. Buck has the Cataclysm perhaps to protect him, can jump in and out, but Buck can't heal at all with those with that cauterize ticking him. Mulk back on the point once more. However, Dragon Punch not ready to be used just yet, so it will be under a little bit of contention here. But diving off the point, forced out by the turret, forced out by Arcos here is MULKMULKMULK trying to run away, and Fate Esports retain control of this capture point heavily in their favor. It's gonna go to them once again. There's no response.
Running away into the rest of the team, though, that are already cleaning them up, as Arcos pops the Hexafire just for good measure. It's up Kamyker. Mulk goes down as well to Unbelievable, and another point fight setting up here already. That is going in the favor of Fate. They are 8 up right now. They just need any points in this game to push forwards, as a great freeze does come through from Menchmeyer. They're trying to pick up the kills. Arcos, SYER and STURE forced back, but look inside the base. Skillganon and Menchmeyer, they're causing all of the front line of TeamTeamTeam to force themselves in to defend this, and Marre even goes down.
That's incredible work from Fate Esports, just distracting around the backside. Menchmeyer unable to get the freeze off, but look at where the payload is. It's being pushed in pretty much uncontested right now, as those pip shots are running up into the high damage. Was that a Dragon Punch I heard? No. MULKMULKMULK, though, doing their best to disrupt on the back. Menchmeyer finally taken down by Marre. The payload once again stalled at this gate choke point. Now, I expect a coordinated ultimate push to be able to get through this. Tattle, how do you want to see this kind of lead in, as we see 3 ultimates charged on either team right now?
I actually actually want to see them go for another flank like that with 2 members, because you saw inside the base, they sent the frontliners to deal with them because they're the only ones who can win those 1v1s. The issue is, when you don't have those frontliners on the siege, you don't have anyone to stop it just being pushed in. So we're seeing Dragon Punch coming down. He's trying to find a kill, goes up, doesn't manage to find anyone, just goes around town. Freeze on Kamyker trying to do what he can. There's the Ice Storm as well. He's taken very low. Kamyker goes down. That's a double for Smutny as they're starting to make the push here. Marre trying to take down skillganon, not able to find it. Menschmeyer is taken down for being over-aggressive, but look at this. The payload, it's still going. Mulk does finally put a halt to that, trying to hold them off. Mega Turret is popped, not able to do anything due to the shields. And it looks like Team Cubes are going to make a defense here.
Oh, but there's the Hexafire coming in from Arcos. But Marre answers back very quickly, getting in behind Arcos where he can't be hit by all of that damage. And yes, indeed, it looks like Team Cubed will be able to make the successful defense, will be able to hold here. There are 15 seconds left on the clock, however, and that's plenty of time for these respawns to come through on this tiny little map right now. It could be ticked to overtime, but it's likely going to be skillganon who has to go up and over in order to do so. And there's 3 seconds left on the clock. Will he make it?
They are on the payload right now, Menschmeyer and skillganon. They push it over. They're trying to find the kills as well, but it's not going to work out for them. Both of them drop. They push it into overtime, but for how much longer, realistically? Arcos gets popped. There goes Unbelievable right as the round ends as well. But now, Fate have one final point to make, and we have never seen... have we seen Team Cubed win a point this game?
Nope, they have not won a single point. There has been 4 capture points so far. As you can see, 2 points from each has been given to the side of Fate. They have 8 points, and 1 single point for each successful defense, leading 4 to Team Cubed, has been given to just them. So now it is up. The pressure's really on for TeamTeamTeam. They have to make this capture. Not only that, they have to make this capture, they have to make this conversion, and they have to do it all over again. They cannot afford to lose a single capture point or objective in this game right now. And by doing that, they're looking to go for the flanks. MULKMULKMULK and Marre going around the backside, but they don't find anybody as the flanks from Fate are also going out in force. I mean, the damage is coming through now, and it's going in Fate's favor once again.
Both teams went for the flank, but Fate managed to find it first as they're trying to pick up the kills from the flank. Skillganon first to go down, however. Ice Storm does come through, but Menschmeyer unable to find anything. STURE does get killed in return. There's Sarkos with the Hexafire, though. Immortal does get popped as well to keep them all alive. No kills going either way. Marre trying to do what he can in the back as well. SYER trying to rain down on the point.
Oh, I just heard Dragon's Fury. Where's skillganon coming in from? He's too far away to hit anybody. Almost connects onto Marre, but does manage to dip out there in just a second. Likely to get wiped out of here as Team, they're coming back in force right now. They've got control of the capture point. They don't want to give this one up. They don't want to be knocked out so easily. And if they pull off this reverse sweep for this game, it will be absolutely phenomenal. And they will go through to the finals, but it's still the game in Fate's favor. Fate still have the defense to come back on, even if they can't get onto the capture point, but they're going to do their best to get just back there right now, and that's where they'll go.
Ganon, there's the Hexafire as well from Arcos. He picks up one. Huge chicken came through from Kamyker, but I don't think it really mattered. Not enough damage being done in return. The rest of the team wiped out. Marre finds a kill, but at what cost? They're losing the point already. It's at 99 for Team Cubed right now.
And Fate just can't afford to leave it. They'd love to push out in zone, and that's just what a couple of them might be able to do. But they cannot take a single step off this capture point. Watch out, because this Pip, if he steps off, it's all over. But there's the Mega Turret coming out from Smutny right now. It's dishing out a lot of damage, but the kills from Team are just too much. There's a double for SYER. Is it going to be a triple as it comes through? No, Marre jumping in right now. STURE picking up a double kill of their own. Fate Esports losing their first capture point of this game, going to Team, but they still have the defense to win from.
They need to make sure they're ready for this defense as well. The members of Fate still respawning. They need to get in position to try and hold this choke. I like what Arcos is doing. He's waiting for that flank. He knows it. Marre gets pushed away instantly on that one. Not going to face the ruckus in a corridor in any way. Smutny, though, very far forwards trying to hold that payload. He does get netted. Good freeze from Menschmeyer will hold the players off a bit longer. And Fate being very aggressive in this point fight, trying to hold it forward as much as possible. But the kill's going to go in the favor of Team Cubes. They find Arcos. Kamyker taken down in return and response. They need to be careful they're not too aggressive here.
Taking a look at the scoreboard, we can see ultimates starting to charge up for either team, and with these ultimates, in about a minute or so, we're going to see a major push coming through. Maybe even less time, as MULK looks to flank on the side, decides against it as they spot out skillganon, and reaches the payload, but there's a turret set up there, there's a barricade set up there, and unless the ultimates come through as they do from MULK keeping him alive for just a second, but there's not enough damage to follow up. MULK likely to fall here, and the payload's not going to go anywhere.
Immortal was popped from that Ice Storm. There goes the Dragon Punch. It connects onto MULK. He gets taken down. It's now a 4v4 on this one. Unbelievable, taken down by Marre in the side. They managed to pick up SYER, however. Marre coming in from behind. There's the Hexafire from Arcos, trying to find STURE and Marre. Not quite able to catch them around the corner. 50 seconds left on this one for the side of Team Cubed. They need a coordinated push or this is over. Arcos finds STURE. They're trying to flank on the left side. skillganon facing against MULK and Marre, not able to find the kills. The rest of the team, they're collapsing around to help them. Marre finds one. Hexafire from SYER. They start to push this payload forward. MULK gets taken down by skillganon. Kamyker finds one of his own. There's kills left and right. Arcos trying to do what he can to hold the payload off, but he's too far forward. He goes down. Meanwhile, Kamyker, he's on the top. Good salvo onto him. Loads of freeze damage coming through as well. Payload still into the base. 10 seconds left. That goes through. Kamyker not up for this team fight. It's a 4v5. Smutny finds one kill. Ice Storm will keep them off of that one as well. There goes MULK staying on the payload. Marre goes down. Overtime ticking out. And that looks like it's going to be Fate taking the game.
And that's entirely on the back of Smutny right there at the final point, in my personal opinion. As Smutny dives deep to the back, doesn't pop Mega Turret in response to Mega Turret, just relies on the barricade to immune all of that damage. Nips in behind, pops that Mega Turret, now dealing splash damage, very high rate of fire, really burns down all of Team. And that will be a successful defense point leading Fate to victory. The score is 1-1, but let's check out the scoreboard before we go any further. And Smutny, 194,000 damage, shielded by yourself. That is phenomenal.
Almost the 200k. Almost. The dream is real. We'll see it hopefully in the next game. But that one went the distance. This series is a nail biter right now. We saw Fate. They held on to that. They were ahead with Team Cubed, holding on to it for dear life on the defenses. They finally got the point there as we saw no combo come out from Fate like we usually see in the fight. And Team Cubed, they get the point, but they try and go for the flanks, which you cannot do on that attack. Unless you flank inside the base, you can't come around the side because that's just not where the payload is.
Look at Team Cubed's team comp, right? When they're pushing and they're attacking on this payload, they have Marre who can get into the base, maybe Kamyker, but Kamyker can't go around the backside using weightless. They have to go a pretty direct route and can be spotted out quite easily. But, I mean, look at the credit scores right now. That's what's really catching my eye. And what I'm seeing here is so many credits stockpiled on the side of Team Cubed, because they were constantly defending. They were constantly picking up kill after kill after kill. But despite that credit score, they weren't able to do anything with it. I mean, burn cards were maxed out on either side. There's no advantage that can be gained there. And they just weren't winning these point fights.
This is what's with the state of the game right now. It's less about who has the most credits. It's about who gets to the credit limit first.
Right.
Who can get to the point where they don't need to worry about credits anymore first. At that point, that is when you get the advantage, because you will be up a burn card on your other team from then on at least. And they'll catch up. You only have one round realistically to do that, unless you get a stomp going through.
But that one round can make all the difference. You can gather a lot of momentum there. And before we proceed into a short break, before we go into the next match, we've got to remember, map rotation is active this week. We've seen Glacier Keep so far. We've seen Temple Ruins. It is Enchanted Forest. Tattle, what are your predictions? Because Enchanted Forest is a map that we just haven't seen in competitive play in this particular tournament. It's been all GK so far. So what's Enchanted Forest going to bring to the table?
We've always seen Glacier Keep. Temple Ruins was actually the map that we've not seen for the longest time. We've seen tournaments in the preseason on to Enchanted Forest. Now, here's the big thing. In this matchup, as we were saying earlier, Team Cubed, they're a new team coming into this, but they are the leftovers of what was TQM and Team Griffin. And TQM were the Enchanted Forest team. They were unbeatable on that map. They would take down torpedo multiple times, especially in scrims in that one. They were taking that map over and over on people. This is their map to win. I wouldn't want to face these guys on this. And if they can bring that over from the old TQM into this new Team Cubed, then this could go in their favor. But again, Caster's Curse, we said last time that there'd be probably some compositional changes in this game. We saw a salty run back and almost a clean sweep if it weren't for the determination and hold of Team Cubes there.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see what Enchanted Forest does bring to the table. And this one is for all the marbles. Next win will advance the winning team onto the finals this week. The loser will have a second chance to come back at it, though. They'll go into the bottom side of the bracket, the losers bracket. They'll play all the way back through and battle their way back in, potentially for another shot at the finals. But that team on the lower side of the bracket, if they win the first set of finals, because it is double elimination, they have to do it all over again, and it will be a best of 5 for both those sets, but those will be coming up in about another couple of sets worth. So we'll see you in a couple of minutes for game 3 of this best of 3. Let us know your predictions down in the chat below, and stay tuned for more. Champions of the Realm, welcome back once again. Vox and Tattle on the mics, joining you here today as your casters for this game coming up, game 3 between TeamTeamTeam and Fade Esports. On the left-hand side of your scoreboard, we do once again have Fade Esports, Unbelivable on that pip, Smutney on Barrack, Arcos on Ruckus, skillganon once again on Drogos, and Meyer on Eevee.
And we're seeing as well their opponents for this last game. Team Cubed, Marre on Buck, SYER on Ruckus, Kamyker on Pip, STURE on Barrack, and the substitute coming in, Crowed on that Androxus. I gotta say, on the mic, oh boy, like...
You're on the spot,
we
man.
dropping
You're
our,
on the mic.
we dropping our hot mixtape?
Pretty much. That's exactly what I expect to happen here. And it looks like we're immediately into stasis mode. But before we go into a quick pause, we're just going to see if we can wait this one out. Do you have any predictions?
We can just talk this. We can talk this one out.
Yeah, we can vamp. Vamp's already.
We can talk this one out. I believe in our relationship.
So talk about the Androxus pit. You believe in our relationship?
I think
you speak like it's a therapy session, but hold that thought as the game has actually started.
We can make
the game
this
has
work
actually started,
with a bit
though.
of therapy, Vox. Why are you trying to avoid the conversation? I mean, the game's going on, but I think this can work. We got to make it work for the kids, man.
It's not me, it's you.
Why are you going to force this blame on me, man?
Always look at that backline dive immediately, though, coming out from the side of Fate. They want none of this ambush, but coming around from behind is Marre once again on this buck. And tell me a little bit how you think this Androxus pick is going to play off in Enchanted Forest, as we have seen the Fernando swapped out this game.
I think the range will do great here, but it doesn't seem to do great at all right at the start as Crowd gets picked up in this tight corridors of the forest. But SYER, he picks up a triple kill, going off with the rest of his team, coordinating that one. Smutney, he was on the point the whole time, but it doesn't really matter anymore because he's all on his own.
Oh, and I hope we caught a little view of that Rocket Boots animation, as there is a new Rocket Boots animation. It's pretty hysterical. It's a little bit funny, shall we say, to say the least.
You just teeter and totter at the same time, but I love how your little legs move too slow for the
it's like watching me on roller skates. I've never been good at that. I kind of look like I'm going to fall over backwards all the time, but Fate looking to mount defensive on this point again. The catch point has been abandoned by Team just to head this off at the pass, as it were, rather than let them get all the way to the capture point. But I mean, there's no kills coming out from either side so far. No idea which way this point is going.
Yeah, and they just jump straight off as soon as the rest of the team get in, and they focus on the kills instead. Smutney is getting point control, but Unbelivable is taken down at the cost of it. Kamyker does get taken down on the other side. It's 2 for 2 right now, but it looks like Fate actually coming ahead in this one as skillganon picks up STURE. They're trying to find SYER on this one as well, but he manages to even things up. Hexafire coming down, but there's a great barricade to block it all. SYER does pick up one, but Meyer with the double kill, and Fate take the lead in this one.
What a play by Meyer. Watches the Hexafire comes out, know that SYER's going to focus just on that barricade, as they can knock down the barrack very shortly afterwards, and just blinks around, just goes behind him. I mean, Ruckus ain't going to turn around. Ruckus ain't going to change targets. Ruckus is a one-man, one-mind killing machine, and instead just gets bipped in the back by Meyer.
Ain't nobody got time for that. It's the payload is going to start pushing forwards here, and oddly enough, it's Fate who is coming up ahead on Enchanted Forest. Maybe they didn't bring this mojo that they had from TQM forwards with the such prominence on Enchanted Forest.
You've got to stop cursing people. You know, every time we make a prediction, it goes the exact opposite way. If there was any kind of fantasy points for Paladins, we'd definitely say, do not listen to us. Go for the exact opposite suggestion, because we just continue to be amazed by all of the players each time. Fate once again coming out on top on this capture point, taking us a little bit by surprise. But the defense, I expect this defense to go in favor of Team. Like, they've held it before, they'll hold it again.
You say it's not you, it's me.
Yep.
All the blame is being forced onto me right now, I gotta say.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
The defense.
I'm party perfect. You can't pin anything down on me. But yeah, defense is great. Payload stalled. Payload is going to start moving backwards slowly. Although on the round on the backside, Unbelivable going to grab it, push it forwards a little bit further. And the defense, I think, won't actually be quite as good as it was on Temple Ruins this time, as you haven't got that Fernando to kind of sit on the payload and just stop it in its tracks. You have to rely a bit more on ranged engagements positioning. But speaking of ranged engagements, got an Androxus going around the back, but spotted out by a turret, is forced away. There's a chicken coming through.
Unbelivable with a save shot, does manage to save his teammate, and Crowd picks up Unbelivable, I should say, and saves his teammate there. SYER picks up Menschmeyer in the back. The payload held just outside the base right now. Team Cubed holding the advantage on this one so far, 30 seconds left. And there is just so much longer of a room. Actually, Arcos, Hexafire comes down. He finds SYER. He's looking for another one. Does manage to pick up Marre. There goes the Cursed Arm, however. He gets taken down before he can find a triple. Unbelivable, last man left standing. 15 seconds left on this one. And Droxus is... I should say, actually, skillganon on that Drogos was in the back, but he gets taken down by STURE. Does get picked up in return by Menschmeyer, but he's all on his own. Ice Storm popped. That's going to hold them off for a few more seconds as we tick into overtime. Smutney trying to do what he can, but he's all on his own. The rest of the team trying to get there in time. Arcos gets up, but there comes the wall. Doesn't hold him off just enough, but he gets taken down too. Drogos, skillganon, drops in from above. He's ticking it over, but gets taken down, and it looks like there's just too much distance for Fate to cross to hold this one in overtime.
If I was Fate, I would have probably given that one up sooner. They're not respawning altogether. They're very, very staggered, right? And as a result, when a Fate do get the respawns coming through, it's just this EU conga. They funnel in one by one, and all that's doing is giving additional credits to the side of Team. In fact, let's take a look at the burn cards coming up for Team. You got 3 burn cards picked up on 3 members already. Is that going to be 3 burn cards picked up on 4 members? That is indeed going to go to 5, and Menschmeyer not yet to select a burn card. Looks like the credits are mostly even, but interestingly enough, let's talk about Androxus. Crowd picking up the faster reload speed burn card there. 30% increased, or rather decreased time to reload, which is very, very useful if you're running around hitting all those defiance shots off, as they do consume 3 ammo a pop.
Menschmeyer is going very deep in the back. He's going to get picked off by Marre. Does manage to jump out just in time. Skillganon drops the salvo and kicks up STURE as well. Does find the double kill as well. Marre trying to make the return kill and take him down. It will be Crowd who picks that one up, in fact. But Marre will fall for the trade. They're getting ahead in this one. Crowd also taken down. And there goes Kamyker as well. Fate Esports coming out ahead in the point fight once again.
And Menschmeyer just a consistent... Oh, we've got to talk about skillganon and Menschmeyer, right? They are they're the consistent players I'm seeing through all this. We're seeing Arcos come in with the big Hexafire, but when Menschmeyer goes in, Menschmeyer always winds up with a double kill. When skillganon goes in, he hits a Dragon Punch and winds up with a double kill. And it's just time and time again, these players running as such a well-oiled machine right now after that initial loss on Glacier Keep. It's very difficult for Team to deal with, but they may well be able to do that now.
Behind, though, STURE sneaks in like a ninja, drops the turret, picks up a double kill. There goes the triple onto Arcos. He's looking for the quadra onto skillganon. Skillganon jumps up into the air, does pick up Crowd in return, does get away, still looking for that quadra. SYER steals it though.
skillganon actually getting a double kill of their own in response for all that, which is pretty phenomenal when you consider the pressure that they're under. And Fate forced to back away again, but we saw this with the initial point fight. They had the chance to retake this once more. They're waiting for the group to come through. No more respawns. One more respawn as skillganon on that Drogos is about to come through. No ultimate to get them there that fast yet. And there's a Hexafire being popped by Arcos. Doesn't manage to pick anything up there. In fact, point fight is going once again in favor of Team off the back of that.
Huge plays there from both sides. Skillganon picks up 1 kill onto Crowd. Point fight, 96. Does get off it for a second. Unbelievable on the point, trying to keep it over. He gets taken down. Arcos makes it just in time. It's on 99. They can't find the kills, however. Arcos goes down, and STURE picks up a triple with the turret. But I tell you what, did you see that play in the background of that second fight?
Go on.
Triple freeze into snowstorm, and the chicken came out just as the barricade came up, blocked it out, and they won the fight returning back. Crazy plays coming out.
That's great reactions. If you're managing to block a chicken midair with that barricade, that's either prediction, that's a luck, or it's reactions. And at this level of play, I'm going to go with the reactions on there. You can hear that Pip actually pulls the taunts. Hold that Thor as Menschmeyer blinks in, freeze. There's 1 kill for skillganon, and Arcos picks up another. They're turning their attention onto the back line now of TeamTeamTeam. And Fate Esports really want to defend this payload like they... And stop TeamTeamTeam from getting any kind of advantage in this game.
The momentum would be pretty severe if they were to convert this one, but great combination. They got it this time. The freeze into the chicken worked out for them, didn't get blocked out at all, and they hold the payload for very far forward. And this is the difference I think I see with Temple Ruins and Enchanted Forest. Very similar in the map style right now, especially with how the base is laid out. The big difference is that there is so much more length and range. There's a lot less cover as well for teams to use when pushing the payload forwards. We saw Fate get a lot closer this time to converting it, whereas we're seeing that Fate holding Team Cubed very far forwards. As I say that though, Crowd, he's going in for the back. He takes out Unbelievable. He's behind the rest of them as well.
And now, Menschmeyer under a lot of fire as the Cataclysm does come down, but Marre in a lot of trouble has actually jumped into the back line of Team Fate Esports, who will wipe him out. Menschmeyer picking up another double kill, and once again, it's like double path in the weeks past with D69. Menschmeyer goes in, there's always 2 kills that come out of it every single time. We're seeing more and more freezes come out as well. If you take a look at the burn cards, once again, when we have an opportunity, I'm only seeing 1 set of resilience on there. So this freeze EV is only becoming more and more effective as they're able to prioritize the targets without resilience, able to hit those without CC immunity, and really mess them up once that CC comes through, as you can no longer break out of that freeze with your movement abilities as you have been previously able to.
I tell you what, looks like they might have been able to break this defense, however. Unbelievable went down the payload, starting to push forward. Grode's inside the base. He doesn't know Drogos is right behind him, though. Here come the salvo shots raining down onto him. Grode taken very low. Expectorate doesn't quite connect. Does get the reflect off. Payload, meanwhile, Arcos is holding that all on his own, trying to do work. They managed to pick off Crowd, but the cost of 2 members, and Payload still pushing forwards. But wait! Everyone's left the payload. Overtime pushing through. Just about gets back on time, but that was way too close. Kamyker finds the double. They're still pushing it over with this payload. Overtime is on right now. They need to stay on this one, but the damage is coming through from Fate. Arcos trying to take down Unbelievable inside the base. SYER does find 2 kills with the Hexafire, looking for a triple, doesn't find it. Menschmeyer picks up 1 of his own, still keeping this one into contention. The payload inching itself forward. Chicken comes through onto Unbelievable onto 2. That'll keep them stalled for
Skillganon
a
out
bit
of nowhere
more.
though. Skillganon out of nowhere dives in, gets that Dragon Punch, managed to wipe out the Buck, who's really the payload staller, shall we say, when Barrack isn't available. There's 0 seconds left on overtime. The defense will be successful in this case, and the points will be evened up 3-3. And really, I think that Dragon Punch actually was potentially the winning move there in that
That was
last
the turning move
fight.
for sure.
Right.
Took down Marre of all people. I tell you what, it's not on this next fight.
It's not going to be up. It's not going to be available. But taking a look at the ultimates, Kamyker has Chicken available. Marre very close to Cataclysm. Arcos has their Hexafire available. And if this is an open point fight, as it will be, it is on Fishing Village. If Marre gets into, or rather Arcos gets into a good position up high perhaps and drops a Hexafire down onto Team, that could spell death and destruction for all of them. But we'll have to wait for the point to actually be fought over before we see the results of that.
Look at Marre already. the ball's on this guy, already right behind the team. He jumped on the point for a second. He's coming up all the way behind them. Actually doesn't even care about the rest of the team. Arcos pops the Hexafire, doesn't find anyone with it. Crowd gets taken down. I have a Smutney with another one, and Marre just wasn't with the team at all. Kamyker picks up 1 kill, but it's currently 3 versus 4. Arcos finds one onto STURE. He finds the double onto Kamyker. Marre, I think last one left standing. And I was expecting a flank from him, but he just decided to go for the point.
Well, what's happened time and time again, we saw this previously because this was the first capture point of this of this match. It was on this particular point here. What we saw Fate do is go up immediately. They come in towards their side of the point, go right, go across the bridges, and immediately go for a 5-man push into the enemy backline. And whilst Marre is looking to perhaps flank any backline members left standing on the defensive side of the point, shall we say, there are none to find, and as a result, he's wasting time. It's a 5v4 point fight, and it goes in favor of Fate time and time again.
skillganon picking up 1 kill. Arcos as well onto Crowd, freezing him out. Menschmeyer with the help there takes him down, and they're trying to keep control over this one. 90 points ticking through. STURE last one left, but he's going to get taken out by skillganon and taken out in a few seconds. Point control going over to Fate, 5-3 right now.
But this is the difficult bit, and this is what Fate have been struggling with before. In fact, this is what, should we say, both teams have been struggling with before. It's very, very easy now with the reduced base size and the difference in high ground, shall we say, to defend this payload push. Although it did get very, very close to the conversion point last time as TeamTeamTeam were pushing through. We'll have to see if Fate can pull a similar maneuver off right now. And it looks like a backline dive is actually coming out from SYER, who is forced to hover away. But Marre comes in deep as well, just looking to distract members of Fate. But all the while, the payload pushing further and further forwards. It's completely uncontested.
Marre does pick up that kill, goes on gets the kill, but skillganon, he picks up SYER on his own as well, and that's a rampage for him.
That's 5 killing blows without dying, without any of those deaths, and without them being eliminations as well, so no assists counting towards that. And if they keeps on going, that'll continue to stack up, which means they will be worth more credits on a kill, of course. But with credits spooling as fast as they currently are, I mean, there's not really much to be gained from that, but the fight is popping out hugely there. We do have a slight moment of stasis mode, but check out where the payload is right now. I'm looking at it in free cam. There are 4 members of Fate right now. We can see the health bars on the top left-hand side of the screen, all pretty full in health versus the 2 members now, 3 members. Hold that thought, a cursed arm goes up.
There goes the cursed arm as well, picks up 1, doesn't manage to find any other. The running on the chicken is enough. They get out of dodge. Arcos, last man left standing. Fate, they just push it straight through. Crowd was on the other side of the base. Feels bad, man.
And Marre there, the closest one to the payload, distracted by enemies, runs away from the payload, doesn't realize that skillganon is just kind of slowly pushing it in by themselves, and that will be round. So it's 7 points to 3 currently lead Fate Esports. And if Fate Esports capture this next point or get 2 successful defenses in a row, they'll take this best of 3 set and advance to the finals, whereas TeamTeamTeam will be demoted to the losers bracket and have to fight their way back through.
And I tell you what, these were the teams to watch. This is going to be the finals. I just know it. They're going to make their way back up through the losers bracket as well. It's the fight coming through. The flank comes out. Huge freeze comes out. There's the salvo on top as well. Menschmeyer picks up 1. There goes the ice storm. Unbelivable with another. skillganon managing to get crowed as well. They're looking for a clean wipe onto the side of Team Cubed right now. There goes Kamyker. Marre, last one left, running for the hills.
Running for their life as the point capture starts to stack up in favor of Fate, and you can see them bouncing around on the point right now. They're pretty confident in their ability to hold this down. Marre looks to fight skillganon, but skillganon goes into Dragon Punch, pushes out towards the enemy base, manages to, threads the needle between Androxus and Ruckus. Won't be picking up a kill there, but the distraction is enough. There's a point fight going on, but as the chicken comes through onto Marre, it'll go back in favor of Fate Esports as they continue to hold down this point. There's going to have to be ultimate coordination between the members, and I heard last man standing wins, but STURE gets frozen outright there. The Hexafire is good, but not good enough as the damage is even better, and Fate Esports still retaining control. Pip, the last player left, and it's going to be picked up by nobody. Skillganon,
all over that one. You know, he threaded the needle, but he threaded the needle right inside their base. He was right behind them. 1v1 mid-air shot into Crowd. Get wrecked, son. Shut down. He picks up at the kill onto SYER just as the Hexafire pops as well. And skillganon all over that fight.
Oh, and that's rough for Team Cube, but GG to Fate. Very, very well played. Very well earned. Fate Esports coming back to that former strength we saw on the first week of the qualifiers, where they took the bronze placement there. They've been off their game, should we say, a little bit for the past few weeks, but coming back strong now against a sort of super group team, which we really expected to almost just wing this one with the advantage they had on Enchanted Forest. And by the looks of things, we're not actually going to be able to see the endgame scoreboard for this, which is quite unfortunate. May have a screenshot coming through in a moment, but Tyler, your thoughts on that set, please?
Just looks like Fate have worked out Team Cubes. You know, I thought that Glacier Keep was such a close map as the teams were trying to work each other out. Temple Ruins, I just thought was the playstyle mismatch, right? Fate winning the point fights, not able to get through the defense. That just looks like it's not their strongest part. I thought to myself, this next one, Enchanted Forest, you know, we'll see Team Cube come forwards in this one, but they don't. And it ends up in almost exactly the same way that Temple Ruins did. We're seeing all the point fights go over to Fate, and defenses don't go through, but it doesn't really matter. You only get 1 point for those defense.
And it's just not enough to stack up those points one by one by one. Eventually, you do have to lead with those capture points, and that's just what Fate managed to do. So I'm really interested to see, I mean, what is the difference here between Fate in previous weeks and Fate in these current weeks? And I mean, the first thing that I'm noticing is, well, we got no Kinessa pick. That's pretty major, right? We've seen Kinessa in previous weeks being picked up by Fate.
I've got to say that Kinessa's just become a meme now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's so harsh when your mistakes become a meme. You know, we've got the great KS Commander at the forefront of the memes, leading the charge, and then you've just got the poor Kinessa in the back. And of course, poor Kinessa.
We can't forget you and your Nuddle, but. With that said, we will be going ahead and getting ready to spectate the next match coming up, as Fate Esports have advanced to the finals now. We can see on the brackets up on your screen, we've got Arcadios versus Exordium, just currently trying to figure out if that match is underway or if that's the one that we're going to be going ahead to spectate. And we'll have that news coming to you live through Twitch chat and on the stream in just a moment. But thank you for watching so far. And of course, as we proceed through this losers bracket and get ready to go to the finals, don't forget to share this stream with your friends. If you like Paladins Esports and enjoy Paladins, the more publicity we have for this, the more people that you can get engaged and enjoying watching this, the better. So share and share alike and share around.
But Vox, my only friend is you. You're the only one I need. And I think we'll go to a private moment. Stick around, guys.